idea for us to, before we get into the project and all the stuff that we are here to talk about, I thought it would be fun if we did a rapid fire, like, question round at you.
Aye.
We can kind of get to know you a little bit, and listeners can get to know you a little bit.
How long do you want the answers? Like yes, no, maybe?
I would say the shorter the better.
Okay, quick, easy. All right. How you doing?
Everybody on board with this?
I already got my question.
Okay, well, then you kick us off.
Mr. B,
Yeah.
what is your favorite band of all time?
Rush.
Nice!
Oh, I picked a nice
Correct
one-syllable
answer.
answer.
I'm a middle-aged white guy.
Give him a point. Correct answer.
It's kind of, you get
Well,
a
like
card
fast-paced rock.
in the mail, and they say, we've picked Rush for you, and that's okay.
Today's
No,
Tom
Rush.
Soy.
Rush. One of my favorite things to do is to watch reactions, to watch people like, younger, never experienced music, real good music, and they listen to some of the music that so fortunate to grow up with.
And the perfect time for. So
God.
you were.
Oh.
We were just talking about it earlier. In '79, you were 14. Not to age you, but
Yes,
you were
14.
the perfect age to be experiencing.
I was born in
this music.
'65.
Yes.
Yeah.
Prog rock at the prime of prog rock. Oh, I can only imagine.
Ability to be able to see.
You're up.
Would you rather have to read the Bible backwards or drive around with a bag of loose cans taped to the roof of your car for the rest of your life?
I want what you're smoking. What are you drinking over there? Oh my gosh. What a weird
You're
question.
supposed to be fast-paced. That was the slowest question.
Right? Well, I was
This is the opposite of rapid fire.
I was
Yes.
thinking of it in
We've only
real
answered.
time.
It's been
You-
2
you
minutes. We've had one
experienced
question.
Oh, we saw you thinking
word
about it.
for word. I was
We also were not told about this until just now.
until just now. Yeah.
So-
So you got. That's how my brain works.
definitely the Bible backwards.
Yeah, because
Yes.
the cans would be that
Oh,
noise would drive you insane,
For
right?
the rest of
yeah.
it.
I'd never drive
Rest of
again.
your life.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
You
I would do anything.
Lamborghinis, boy.
My Chevrolet. All right, what do you do for work?
Okay. I teach kindergarten through 5th grade. I teach them math to children who struggle. And it could be struggling for any reason. So, like behaviorally, emotionally. I deal with all kinds of very interesting young people, and I'm blessed. Absolutely blessed.
You're putting out the love to those sheep who need the extra love.
Taking care of the babies.
Yeah, love that.
You'd be surprised how many kids don't fit the mold. That, they draw this line that says this is normal.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not there, there's something wrong with you. And
Jason
I can't, there's no way I can believe that way.
Crying.
And so math is like one of the greatest ways to really dig into somebody's brain, to see how they think, to see where they're, what do you have? Everybody's got something, so what is it? And let's find it, and then let's make you feel absolutely wonderful about yourself and move forward. And that's it's just the best.
I'm falling in love with you.
Every child is a puzzle.
That's a good answer.
Every child. Every brain here works completely different. Just everything's so unique. Just like we all have a fingerprint, each brain works completely different. So the idea of setting a standard or calling anything normal, it could be what's wrong with our educational system.
Amen.
Absolutely. And with that being said, would you rather have to put mustard on everything that you eat for the rest of your life, or sneeze 3 times every time you meet a new person?
Sneezing feels good.
But to be forced to do it just because you met a new person, it would stop feeling good.
Yeah. You'd stop.
How many new people do you
If
meet?
you're at like a work conference,
Right.
Oh, God.
How
And you're like the
loud are the
keynote
sneezes?
speaker?
What type of sneezes are we talking here?
Like full body
not
sneezes.
Jason's.
Ah.
They don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the big ones. Yeah.
I'm not stuck on the sneeze. What kind of mustard are we talking?
You-
Do I get like a,
You get to
choice?
choose. Yeah, you get to choose mustard.
could I switch it? There's
eat
a
mustard.
lot of
Yeah,
mustard.
yeah, there are a
Then
lot
I'm
of mustards.
taking
Any
that.
mustard.
Yeah, I'm taking the mustard. I like mustard.
Yeah.
Mustard rules.
Here's the
Oh, I
evidence.
love to
does
cook.
roll.
There's
Who
the
loves to
evidence
cook?
that
Do you
people's
like to cook?
minds work
Oh, yes.
differently.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, let's go.
I could feel my brain unlocking as he was
Bible
saying all those
backwards
things.
with
Yeah.
mustard. Let's go.
Ryan, you cap us off on this speed round.
Nope.
You got nothing?
I can't be put on the spot like this.
All right.
I don't work. Give me something to ask, and then we'll cut it in.
Family, kids. What do you got?
Nick.
He's the shortest answers
Dumb.
possible. I love it.
Nicky!
Yeah.
He's wonderful.
Yeah.
The
Your
whole
son,
family.
Your son is wonderful.
Great player, great ambassador for the sport, great
Love your son.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, that's enough speed
I've heard
dating.
good things.
Let's get into the project. Actually, one more question before we get in. Your home course and club, like where do you what are your like disc golf roots in
Ooh,
this,
wow.
this area?
In this area, Oli via Olympia Field, Sergeant Means,
So are you a
basket
case?
cases. That's where the whole game started. Yeah, the whole,
OG.
yeah, and like I could say a lot about that, and we could bring the room down a little bit. Yeah, so-
We will do a
music. So-
basket cases focused episode at some point. It has to happen at some point.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the project. What are you guys calling the course? Like, when you and Mark talk about the course, how do you refer to it?
The course. That's it. I'm serious. We do not call it by its name. It's the course. It's always been the course. I think naming it was by far the most difficult thing of all. It was so hard. The course means so much to us. It's hard to encapsulate it in a word or words.
Sure.
There was nothing. You didn't want to like name it something like egotistical, or it
Sure.
would sound like anything that would make people just go, "Who do you think you are?" to name a course that. So there was a lot of levels. The Michigan courses with their Beast and Beauty and Goliath and all Leviathan, those are great, and they're great courses, but we couldn't follow that trend at all. So it was very difficult. It took us 2.5 years till we finally decided on the name. And still, when we say the name, we're kind of like, I don't know. It really, when it comes down to it, we could call it anything we want. It wouldn't really make any difference at all. What's in a name? I mean, think of the courses that are around. Shanahan thankfully turned into Grimes. It's just wonderful. Your course is named Grimes. Is that bringing people out? I mean, does it really matter overall?
I don't know
Most
anybody
courses
that calls,
are named by their cities
they call
or
Delwood
their
the
parks.
Canyons. Yeah, they just
The
call it
Canyons
Delwood.
is
Right.
such
No
a
one
great
says that.
name.
But no one says
Everyone
that.
calls it
To be
Delwood.
fair,
Yeah.
I think it
Yeah.
was known as the Canyons before Delwood became as, what's the word? Eponymous? Is that the word?
That is not a word.
It is a word, yes.
I think it is a word.
Eponymous?
Eponymous is a word.
Hip hop.
Damn you!
It's actually an REM album from the 80s.
Ah,
Thank you very
there we
much.
go. So just Delwood has become bigger than the Canyons, but for the first few years, I always thought of it as the Canyons.
Yeah.
I think visitors, you'll hear them call it the Canyons.
Sure.
Yeah.
But anybody local, it's just Delhi.
Yeah.
So you guys are literally just calling it the course.
Of course, it's kind of a rose by any other name would smell just as sweet. It's just that idea.
Did you just think of that?
Willie
It works.
Shakespeare.
You should write that.
So
So, okay. You have a name.
we do have a name, yes.
Are you not going to tell anybody?
I don't think Mark would want me to.
Okay.
So I'm just going to
But
be
you can
cool
tell
with that.
us later, and then we won't tell anybody. We swear.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, great.
Cool.
No, he should say it right now, and then we'll beep it out.
Yeah, totally.
Oh,
Yeah.
a la Kill
Yeah.
Bill?
Yes. Yeah.
That would be a really good idea. I think that's a
Yeah.
really good idea. I would like to see, because you're probably, I would be really interested to see how your reaction is, because it's a weird name.
Say it. We'll beep it.
We'll-
Go on.
Say my name. I don't know it.
No, we called the name, the name is
Oh.
Got it.
Now think of why.
Oh, I feel like if we start talking about it, it's gonna
Yeah,
have
yeah.
clues.
People will figure it out.
That's,
Yeah, yeah.
okay, so that's it.
Yeah. No, I want to.
And in the middle, that's
Okay.
what it'll be called for short. Because that's what you're going to be getting. Do you understand?
Yes, I love the
Yes.
direction.
Okay.
There's the nickname.
That's cool, man. That's
It's
cool.
deep,
It's deep.
but
I like deep.
not everybody's
We
gonna get it or
need
understand. I don't
more
know.
deep. We need more deep. We do need that though. That's cool. I like that.
So you have been Mark's right-hand man on the project. Was it, I should know this because we had Mark on the show, but was it Mark's thing that you came on board with? Or
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so how did you end up getting involved?
Okay, I'm sure, well, 5 years ago, Mark probably told you this story, but he saw somebody that was his cousin's son, family member, let's just say that. And he was giving a tour of the prison, the old Joliet prison. They were thinking of turning it into a museum. They were asking for fundraising ideas. Mark saw, hey, and instantly called him up and said, what about a disc golf tournament inside the prison? So that's where the whole, ball started rolling. And then we involved Sean because he knows way more than we do. And it was a great team effort, and it just came off so well. During that time, however, Mark was, of course, looking at topographical maps. He just studies and studies. And he noticed that whole other 100 acres over there was prison property that had never been really used for anything. So he walked out there on his own and just was, wow, it was vast, it was big, it had a lot of potential. So I think he went out there maybe 2 or 3 times before he asked me to come out, and Cheever as well, Jim. And so we all went out there. We were kind of like Three Musketeers at that time. We were always hanging out together. It was great. And when I went out there, I was blown away by the size of it, but more importantly, I was blown away by the topographical, just the way it rolled. I remember I walked out there and there was this big wooded area, and I just ran over to it. You couldn't possibly walk through it, but I could tell just looking at it how the ground was moving and swaling. And that turned into hole 6, the end of hole 6.
Oh, yeah.
That whole area you could not possibly have walked in. So as we ventured around through the course and just looking, oh my gosh, it was, we couldn't believe we were still in Illinois with all of the rolling hills that, oh my gosh, I just saw potential. And I had been to a lot of courses in Michigan, some of the bigger courses. I had been to Toboggan course, and I had been to this one course called Bluegill in Michigan, a private course, blew me away, outrageously good course. Then there was Whiskey up in northern Michigan, up by Beauty Beast and Goliath, another huge rolling course. And those courses are just magical. They're just, especially the toboggan course, it's just so vast. It takes your breath away. And this space was calling. It was just saying, we could do something really, really special here. And so I was in. I was in. We started. I remember the very first cut, and it was off to the races from there.
Okay.
That's it.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Because stuff has to happen before that first cut, right? We don't have to get into the minutia of it, but how do you go to the board of people that are in charge of that property and say, we've got this crazy idea, and get them on board?
Bless you. That's a fantastic question. Thank you. That's perfect. It was because of the disc golf community. It was because of the golfers. When the people came and saw Incarcerated and saw how people behaved and acted and held, themselves, they were just so blown away. It was the golfers that made this whole thing happen. It was the community.
Wow.
And nobody knows that. It was the community.
It's
They were
really a
so
special thing.
blown away by just everything, how organized, how wonderful the people were, how just everybody was having such a great time. They'd never seen anything like it.
They must have bucked the stereotype.
Yes, that was it. That was it.
What people had known about disc golf was probably a small amount, and most of it probably not positive. So most of what they saw that day must have just been like, oh, we had no idea.
You had no idea. It looked so professional. That was it.
Yeah.
That was really... People didn't know anything about anything, but they know professional when they see it. And so there was where the trust was established. For Mark to be able to go to them and say, what do you think? And that was that. That was the trust. They didn't go to anybody except the right people.
Yeah.
And tried to limit it to as few cooks in the kitchen as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And we were told we had to keep everything completely sealed, completely quiet. We weren't allowed to tell anybody anything. That was the deal. And we did it quietly.
Yeah.
Who gave you that permission, and why did it need to be secret?
The person who was in charge of the whole property was the gentleman who was in charge of the museum, the Lockport Museum. And he was in charge of the whole, all three areas of the property. There's the old Joliet prison, and there's the women's prison across where we have the putting league. And then, of course, that 100 acres as well. So it was really, we had made a deal with the state. It's all owned by the state. They had leased it to the city for like $1, just for them to have the opportunity to do something with it. I don't think they ever expected us to touch the property that we touched. They had it surveyed years ago. They said the only thing we could possibly do on it was recreation. But there was really, it would have cost millions to create soccer fields or whatever else they had in mind.
Sure.
And they
They would
were,
destroy it. I mean, it would be destroyed, essentially.
it would have just
if you were
been
to go that direction.
millions
Yeah.
of dollars.
Yeah.
So the fact that they had seen the community, they trusted us, and they trusted Mark.
I don't run tournaments. I don't build courses. I barely play. But
He does throw 100 feet.
that's right.
Sweet.
But I hear a lot about the difficulty of getting local government on board with disc golf. So, like, the fact that this topic was even they were even willing to hear about it, let alone go, yeah, sounds cool, go for it, is blowing my mind. Like,
Especially given, and I know you haven't been out there, but given the totality of the property itself,
yeah,
for them to
100
say
acres or whatever it
carte
is.
blanche, is even more mind blowing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To give you a sense of the scale, I don't think it's unfair to compare it to Idlewild in terms of the amount of space it takes up,
Wow.
the hills, just the landscape, similar amount of space and sort of terrain.
Wow.
And then, to give listeners more perspective, let's pull back a little bit and just let's get the full picture of what you guys are actually doing. Back when Mark was on, you had put in almost 1,000 hours of your own time working on the course.
Oh, wow.
And then Mark had put in, I don't remember how many hundreds or thousands of hours. But how many hours are you guys up to? I know Mark tracks everything.
Oh, you bet he does. Absolutely, Mark.
How
is
many hours have
amazing.
gone into building this so far?
So Mark's at 6,408, and I'm at 4,405 or something like that. We're about 2,000 apart.
And then there's a number of just dudes in the community who come out and help.
Almost everybody has come out once. Bless their hearts. Absolutely. No, it's phenomenal. We got called to West Park to come out and help at West Park, right? So people come out to West Park and you actually help and you get rid of it and then you step back and go, okay, we're done. When you come out to help us, you're going to be working and working and working, and you're going to step back and you got about 30 feet And it's time to go because you've been here 6 hours. And we'll be back tomorrow. No?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll see you when it's open.
Yeah.
No, it's true. It's
tough for the everyday golfer that would be volunteering that time to have the vision that you guys have. I mean, truly, that's a difficult thing.
Oh my. I mean, when I look back, I still, to this day, I mean, we were out there today, we were putting down directional signs to get people through the course just, easier. We're going to have some people out that's never been there before. I'm really excited about having some fresh faces out here, getting some, fresh looks and fresh comments and such. Yeah. So we're putting out, and I tell you, I'm 6.5 years. We're walking on 13, the big par 5 in the back.
Yep.
It's green, and it's green. It's like golf course. It's a golf course. It's like a golf course. It blows my
the one
mind.
that I call Lord of the Rings?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
It was the one Alex
will
came
forever
out for
be
the
Lord of
work
the
day,
Rings
the
for me, yeah.
fantastic work day where the Park for the Parks guys, phenomenal group, Nate Hurst, Ryan, all of them came out, worked their asses off on that par 5, and when they left, it was like, just, you saw it at that day. It was just brown and destroyed. And you go out there now, and oh my God, it looks like the one in Norway, Jarva?
Mm-hmm.
Is that it?
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
The nature came back.
Oh my God, the grass that we planted, just insane. When you go out there, it's, I'd say 12 of the 18 holes, maybe 14 of the 18 holes, that's all the grass we planted.
Oh, sure.
That's a lot. Mark bought the absolute highest grade grass you could get, athletic turf grass.
Wow.
Never, it'll never wear out. Absolutely insane. I mean, when we do it, as Mark always said, we're going to do it right.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter how long it takes.
Right.
Because it'll be worth it.
So this is a good point to bring up a question that was submitted via Facebook. Nick Kaminsky, one of our top fans, he says, first of all, thank you for all the hard work you put in. I appreciate it,
Thanks,
of course. But second, what was the single biggest task that was accomplished during the construction of the course?
Woo-hoo. All right. The whole plane on the lower plane used to be a flood plain. The whole thing. There used to be a big apartment complex. Most people know it as the Hill. And it used to be up at the top. And that was a whole different, water system. So the whole thing flowed down towards the middle of the course and shot out of these pipes like somebody had turned on a fire hose. And the whole lower part flooded. And we couldn't even cross from the, hole 1 is on this giant hill. We couldn't cross to the road because it was so flooded out. And I think Mark told you this story 5 years ago. He was out there on Christmas Eve and he stepped into a hole, accidentally stepped into a hole, did not spill his beer. He's very proud of that. I would be too. And, but it was a sewer or a pipeline. And we had, they had created a softball field out there for the prison guards a long time ago. And they had put this pipe out there so the outfield wouldn't flood. And oh my God, game on, because did it work? Can it work? Will it work? Here we go. So we drew it all out and we started, I think, on March. You guys had bought me these Gore-Tex Converse. Kenny, you, Slauson, had Mr. B, it was really super nice. And they bought me these Converse that were Gore-Tex and I used them because we were standing in about, I don't know, maybe 6 inches of water in March, and it was with shovels. You couldn't get equipment in there, so it was on. So shoveling away, and we're shoveling in a marsh. So the marsh grass gets way down there. So every time you took a shovel, it was just this horrible sound. Yes.
Yeah, that's it.
It was just this, and it was so heavy, and it was so hard to pull out, and it just, oh my God, that was, I don't know, it took us a long time. We went 2,500 feet that we dug.
Good Lord.
What, I mean, this question is coming from me. Was there ever a moment where you're like, what the fuck are we doing?
No, just the opposite. No, It was thrilling. I don't know, I see children like in children's museums, and they always have a water table. There's a reason they always have a water table, because it's so cool to control water. And what we were doing was terraforming. We were being able to take all of this mess and control it and confine it. And by doing that, we created 2 marshes that are now natural marshes. The frogs are insane. There's a lot of frog fucking going on other parts of town. No, there is. They're out there, baby. There's this big party. Oh, there's a disco ball. Yo, I'm serious. And it's a lot. And it's just, that is like so rewarding. We were able to create this and to bring back. That was one of the best things about doing this project. Was bringing back life.
Yeah.
To help nature that had been swallowed up by invasive species, from bush honeysuckle and buckthorn.
Uh-huh.
The whole area had been completely swallowed up. And by removing that, oh wow, the nature's back. I'm a bird nerd. I've been a birder for a while. There's only so many birds you can see in Illinois, so it's like, once your catalog's done, it's like, oh, that was great. But when we opened up all of this stuff, all of a sudden all these birds showed up, and we get this huge migration. And I'm sure there's going to be quite a few people from the birding community that want to come out. Just insane. So anyway, that was probably the hardest thing.
Uh-huh.
But also that was one of the most rewarding things, because when we started to get the water moving, not only to clear it, but in the right direction so it was productive for a marsh. Yeah, baby. That was great. That felt great.
And I'll let you guys talk at some point as well, but I'm going to take over for a little while.
Yeah, go ahead,
Because I think you may have answered another question that was submitted via Facebook. Ryan Stilson, he wants to know, what was your favorite wildlife on the course?
Oh, the swan.
Does it sound like the birds?
When we first started there, we had 3 months in.
Your answer is not frog fucking, it's something else?
Yeah, maybe. Hold on a second. No, I've seen too much frog.
Run it back.
You get loaded. It's like working in a candy store. That's horrible. Okay, so it's good. What was the question?
Yeah, I forgot.
Okay,
Let's
so
see.
there you go. I just
Your
fucking-
favorite
No,
wildlife
nature. I'm
on
just
the
kidding.
course. Yeah.
All right,
Yeah, yeah.
so we were about 3 months into the project, and we were there's this pond that's out there, natural pond, beautiful, and all of a sudden the swan showed up one day, and we called her Cleopatra, Cleo, and she stayed with us for about 2.5 years.
Okay.
And it was just, oh my gosh, she got used to us. It was beautiful. It was a really cool story. I don't know if it would have had to happen after Mark had talked to you. There was we got hit by a really bad winter, and we were really worried about her, and Nick and I had to park on a street and try to walk with food for her, trudging all the way across the course. It took us a while to get to her, and we got to her, and she had just this little tiny area that wasn't frozen, and we laid down just this food, and we went away. And then the next day, Mark was there by himself on the road that's right by the pond. And all of a sudden, Cleo walked up out of the pond, went over to Mark, and sat next to him, maybe like 7-10 feet away, and just sat there for a while. And then got up and walked away. It was the last time we ever saw her.
Oh,
Cool.
Oh.
Wow. She said goodbye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So cool.
Dude.
It was like
I
an
remember
omen.
the first time that I saw her, I was lucky enough to go see her there with Mark one day.
Yeah.
I took a photo, and it was magical. It was like, how is this beautiful bird and all alone, and just like tugging at every single heartstring, because I believe that they mate for life. I don't know. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Is that right? We got the bird nerd here, so he can
Yeah,
answer that
that's
question.
right. Yeah. So
And they're all alone in this pond, in this area that had been forgotten for 6-7 decades. That just she was out there just by herself.
Wow.
Her length of her life, of course, but like, it was touching for sure. It was like special.
I hope that more government, like more local government people and more programming people somehow become aware of how disc golf is, like, it doesn't interrupt nature, right? Like it coexists.
Yes,
it
very
even
much so.
promotes it, especially when you compare it to something like ball golf or any other sport, right? Like you have to change the terrain for those recreational activities to exist, and a lot of times, especially again, sorry to kind of shit on ball golf because it's great, but it is like an ecological disaster, and it drains so much water and so many resources. And here we have disc golf that is promoting nature. Like, God, I love it so much.
When you're talking about the Swan leaving, I picture you guys bringing her food, and it's like a 10-pack of White Castle sliders. and then she sat down next to Mark.
shits
Like,
real
"Yo."
bad.
And
I ain't
she's
letting
like,
that happen
"Yeah,
again.
I'm out of here."
No.
Yeah, that's what I picture.
They were good though.
Yeah.
Onions? I don't fuck with onions, guys.
There's
Well,
always the
Real
slider
quick,
regret.
because I
What?
compiled a list of things that I thought were funny. First of all, listeners, we're going to get back to so many things about Mr. B. But
They.
the last time we talked about the prison was the episode with Mark. We talked about it earlier. It was episode 13 of season 1. We were babies.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh.
Some of this stuff pertains to Mr. B as well. So I'm going to read through this list of things that I thought were really funny, right? So that the last Prison Course episode was recorded on August 6th, 2020. That was my 37th birthday. I heard that and I cringed. I couldn't believe that like we have been doing this long enough that like I was 37. I was like, that might as well have been 17. Blew my mind.
Well, the same thing happened to me when I said, "Oh, we had Mark on 3 years ago," and you're like, "No, that was 5 years ago."
Correct, and this is why this is important. And it does pertain to Mr. B.
All right.
We'll get there. The episode was the first mention of Jason's frozen shoulder. As if you are a long-time listener, you know about this. Which
Still don't believe in it.
which he started experiencing at 41.
Yep.
Which is how old you were at the time. And I have just started experiencing frozen shoulder at 41. We're connected.
Yep.
You guys know each other?
Yeah. This was the first episode that mentioned brushing your teeth, that inside joke.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so if listeners go back and listen to this episode,
Right.
Which
Because,
hand do you brush your teeth with, by the
Quote
way?
unquote.
quote unquote, if we're putting air quotes around brushing your teeth, what do you think that we're referring to? Is the first question.
And he's got it. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And which hand do you use?
Lefty or righty?
I have to use both. There another answer?
Have to.
Moving on.
Perfect answer. I love you.
This is a little haha. Mark Grabavoy said that in this episode, please go back and listen to it. It's so great. That he was so proud because he was over halfway done, and I about fell out of my chair. Survey says that was a lie. That was 2
We'll be
years
right back.
into the project, and that was 5 years ago. In that episode, Alex also said that he quit smoking. Survey says that was a fucking lie. We just had a cigarette about an hour ago. The episode was the first mention of Balf, which triggered me to start
Balf,
bringing
yeah.
up this list because you were
Which
just
you
talking
didn't
about
use just now, which you could have.
right.
I was hoping you'd use both.
It was the first time we said Balf was during the Mark Grabavoy episode.
That's why I always say both. Yeah, thank you. It's a good expression.
Do you guys remember that we did a distance contest? We all threw
Oh,
from
yes.
hole 8. You remember this?
Yeah.
That's where we learned.
That
you
you
could throw
you-
I could throw 100 feet. That's
Do
right.
you remember? Does anybody remember the total combined distance?
It was like 1,028.
I think we
or
just
something.
barely got over 1,000. But maybe it was 9. I think it might have been in the 900s.
No, I'm going 12 something.
No, because Ryan threw about 320, 330.
No, I didn't. None of us did.
None of us broke 300. The total
Yeah,
was
no.
945, and we were
Wow.
all very disappointed.
Yeah.
Wow.
In Parse Rated 3, we talked about it earlier, that hadn't even gone live yet. This is how long ago that was. In Parse Rated 3's registration hadn't even gone live. Come On Pete, not even a thing yet.
No.
Wow.
Wasn't even a thing by episode 13.
Yeah.
And the very last thing, which is the most important, Mark Grabavoy's local route shout out during that episode was you. And he went on for 5
me?
minutes about how lovely you were and how much help you've been and how much this
Somebody
project...
says that was a lie.
Yeah. That this project couldn't have possibly, I don't know when the last time you heard that episode was, but when we were still doing local route shout out, you were his local route shout out because you were so awesome, and here you are 5 years later, still being as amazing as you are.
All right.
So
Thanks, Mark.
Yeah.
Let's go.
What do you got? What do you got?
You gave me a shout out once too. That was really nice.
Yeah.
You told you like the Energizer Buddy. Remember? You guys were out there on the work day, and you
Yeah.
looked up on the hill, and Mr. B was still working and working and working, and
Absolutely.
y'all were having beers and
Yeah.
working.
Yeah. You just kept going. I was like,
kept going.
damn, I'm done.
I
He's
just
still
keep
going.
going. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I do. Yeah,
So,
it's fun.
Speaking of going and going, Ryan Stilson also had a question about
Yeah.
what type of cool stuff or crazy finds did you come across while you were out there? There's got to be some
Ooh.
shit where you
Gotta be some goodies.
tore some branches away and came across something. You're like, what am I looking at here? What is this?
An entire car. That was one of the first things we found. Was somebody had driven a car out there and just left it. It was like Christine. Weird reference there, but it was just like this old car
Is it still out there?
just sitting there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know that I've seen
It's
that.
kind of fallen apart over the years, and it's kind of separated itself. Like, for example, like the steering wheel all of a sudden showed up in another place. Yeah, it's an odd little. It's like it was blue, and I assume it might have been a convertible. It is now. Yeah, and it was parked on
Is
the
there a
course.
way
I don't know.
for it to be integrated into, like, I'm thinking of
The car
Lemon Lake with the tub.
Oh no,
Oh,
no,
right,
no.
right.
Yeah.
No.
No, I love the tub though. Don't get me wrong, that was great. But the the car. Let's see what else.
No, like cursed ancient artifacts that you dug up and regretted or
As
Yeah,
far
right,
as-
yeah. Someone
okay,
held
well-
it and melted like a candle
Yeah,
and while they
yeah,
held
yeah.
it. Yeah.
I would. Okay.
Ooh,
Besides
this
the
is gonna get juicy.
besides
guys.
the general, old 1970s Mrs. Butterworth syrup bottle, and wow, I haven't seen this in just stuff from the 70s and 80s,
She's
old
still
beer
got it.
cans.
Yeah.
She was working. She was taller than I expected.
we're gonna have a hard time picking a cold open for this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we did find it. This is weird. We found a brick, an original brick from the Indianapolis 500.
Whoa.
Kind of a weird thing. It was. We looked it up. It had the brick company on it, and I don't know where it came from or why it was there, but it was just a brick from the old original brickyard
Very
of
cool.
the Indianapolis 500. Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
But I suppose the weirdest thing that we found was the. There's this odd concrete structure that's out there. There's two of them actually. There's one, and it's got a room down underneath it. It's just this. It's surrounded by trees. It's actually the T-pad for hole 2 now, and it was just this structure that we found that was surrounded by trees, and has a room like a stairway down to a room underneath it. Nobody really knows what it was. It could have been used as an armory.
Aliens.
I'm going aliens. Sure. Yeah.
Just like under the pyramids.
All right.
Right.
Yeah.
The pillars.
They could have kept weapons there. I assume they did
Yes.
use that one area as a long distance or rifle range.
Shooting range, yeah.
So they could have kept them down there. But then we found this other area that's in the middle of hole 6. And that one has it's like it might have been a bridge at one time or whatever, but there's no top on it anymore. It's just two big, huge concrete walls. And you go down to the end of it, and at the very end of it, there's a cell.
Creepy.
That was really weird. And the cell, I don't even know, the door had been removed from the cell, but it was like an old, iron door, like from the prison.
Like a solitary confinement?
I don't,
for sure,
dude,
right?
I don't know.
It's given
And
that vibe, for
in
sure.
it this was weird, there was a bunch of cushions, like somebody had been sleeping in there, and then on the side of the wall, there's like somebody has tried to dig out.
Whoa.
For sure. Like had a spoon or something, and just dug.
Oof.
And that's probably one of the weirdest things I think we found on the course. And of course, it's on hole 6 for your pleasure. Come on down.
Don't land in the cell.
Make up your own story. I'm not sure what it was used for or why or what it was, but it was just kind of strange. It's one of those weird. Artifacts, not nothing really outstanding or weird other than the brick. But that
I would say the car is kind of a bigger deal. Than
the car was cool. That was
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
I think we buried the lead a little bit, and I think we should have started talking about this at the front of this segment. But status update, like what's happening with the course today? Like we know, but like
You're
let's.
probably about halfway done.
Right? I guess really
We decided to expand.
Yeah.
the headline to me is you can play the course now.
Oh,
It
yeah.
is playable.
Yeah, baby. That's Sean.
I played.
You played, he told you about
Times
it.
Ryan's played.
Yeah.
And you just hosted a tournament out there, which was that the first tournament?
It was just a $20 holler. You know, old school.
And you brought out like a lot of the like heavy hitters and like the sort of like core homies.
The cream of our crop,
Yeah.
my friend, absolutely. We started at the top of the PDGA page of who was the best pros in the area, and we just started inviting. And out of the 30 people we invited, 28 of them were like in.
So that's something I kind of wanted to set up for listeners is we'll see if we can make this happen, but I want to play some of the clips from all those talking head interviews.
Yeah. That was sweet.
All these great players in the area
Yeah.
have just endless positive things to say about the experience. And so anybody who's hearing all these stories about how much work has gone into it and everything, you should know that like it's truly an experience. It's a marvel, and you can go play it right now. Like
Sure.
the most sort of important, the most credible opinions in the area have nothing but the best things to say about it. The one thing that's holding it back from being open to the public and like a done project at this point, from my perspective, is there are not T-pads yet, and there's nowhere to park. Well, there's a parking situation, but it's a little weird. For example, when we all met that day, we met at the prison.
Yeah.
Then we carpooled together
Yeah.
from the parking lot down to a little service road, and
Gotta do what you gotta do.
right.
So, hey, but everybody got in. Everybody played and had a great time. I think everybody just had a wonderful time. It was just, yeah, wow, what a day. That was
They did.
what a day.
It's it still gives me chills to kind of watch back all the collection of all the things people said. You can tell people are moved by it, and it's it's bringing something to this area that we have such a great area already. Like,
Oh, shit.
I saw
Any,
the thread in the Greater Joliet group about the greatest disc golf city, and we were people being like, yeah, we don't even think about other cities. Like this is it.
It's here. Yeah.
And it's just going to ascend to a new level now with this course.
oh, yeah.
Indeed.
So anybody who's local, they can go play it.
Yeah.
The process of doing that is reaching out to you.
Reach out to me.
You or Mark.
Or Mark.
But if you're an out-of-town listener, which there's a number of people who listen from around the country, and you're looking for a reason to come up here, obviously Delwood is here, and you'll have an amazing experience coming up here to play Delwood. But they could also come experience this course.
Sure. Please. You have no idea how good it makes us feel to watch people play this course. You can only dream and visualize so long, man, and then all of a sudden, okay, here we go. Tommy Earhart is teamed up with Alberto Ochoa as Dubs partners. Let's go, man. And here's, Debo and Nick Austin. Let's go. This is
What was the record they set? Tommy and Berto?
Neg 11.
11.
Breathtaking Neg 11. Berto
That was
threw-
Berto's first round of the year. He was coming into that rusty.
It's Berto. It's freaking Berto, dude. What, Mr. B, what courses would you liken it to for somebody who just has no idea what we're talking about yet?
Okay, imagine Northwoods Black with the ability to scramble.
Ooh, that's a good way to put it.
All right? There's a lot. That's one of the best things about this course, I can tell you right now, is you will be able to play your disc. We made it so wide. The longer the hole, the more width. Let's play. Because you're going to need... there's so many ways to say this. Depending on what you can do, the course is going to play, different just for you. It's going to be just yours. This is how far I can throw. This is my strength. This is where I'm going with this shot. That's what this course is. It's like, I don't know how to say it.
I said it when we talked about it, I think last season. when I had just played it for the first time, and I played it like 2 or 3 times in the fall, that it's fair for everybody.
Yeah.
You don't have to be Berto or Tommy Earhart to be successful at
Or
this
Alex
course.
Seminary.
Or Alex Seminary. Lump him in with those guys.
Oh yeah.
For sure. That you
Just shot
can
an
you can
886
be
rated round, baby.
you can be a 900 rated golfer and still play the course as it is presented to you as the challenge. And that is what a good course is. Long for long's sake is bad. I think most people that understand this game are all on board with that concept, and that's not what this is.
No.
This is be smart,
No.
play chess, land where you need to land, where they are requiring you to land is fair, and you will see your next move. Will you be able to do it? And that's
Sure.
what golf is.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Love that.
Yeah.
I think we learned that going down to Northwoods Black a bunch, and everybody says, "Oh, it's so hard," and yes, you have to expect that. But once you expect that and you know what to look for, you can play that and really enjoy the course and kind of put your score to the side, because your score compared to anybody else or the pros or how they play it at Ledgestone and all that can't really factor into the way that you play the course.
Yes.
You can only do that every time you play. You try to get better, right? But you can only play the way that you play because it is such a difficult course. And I think you're right. Your course is in the same way as difficult and demanding, but so fun.
For example, the par of the course is 66, but that's not my par.
Sure.
That's not my par right now. I'm probably averaging about plus 12 on the course, maybe anywhere between plus 12 to plus 16. And now I got to get better.
Mm-hmm.
There's certainly certain holes that I'm never going to birdie, and that's fine.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
But
Par
that
doesn't
doesn't mean, right? Okay, when I went to Bluegill and we got the chance to play with Joe Gill, the guy who designed it, he was a gentleman that had been in disc golf ever since its inception, the late 70s. He was a pharmaceutical salesman, traveled the country, played everywhere. He knew West Park, he knew everywhere. His favorite course was Idlewild. When he got a chance to retire, he wanted to build his own course. He chose the property in Michigan because he thought it was the best property, the best state for disc golf, the way it rolled. So you go to his course and oh my gosh, it is just wonderful what he did, the way he used the property. Nick and I go to play. He's actually playing with us, right? What a great guy. But Nick and I were getting a little upset because we are used to playing disc golf and getting birdies.
Mm-hmm.
We're used to...
What's that like?
We're used to throwing to a basket. There's the basket. I see it right there, and I'm trying to get within putting range to get my birdie. That's what disc golf was to Nick and myself for the most part. I mean, that's what we're used to. So when we weren't getting birdies, we were getting a little frustrated, But then he told me probably the most valuable lesson, which kept in my head. He just looked at me real simple. Simple. Pars are good. That was it. That's all I needed to hear, because then I understood that's golf. See, what we're playing isn't really golf. And I don't mean to insult any of the courses. All the courses are really, really good. But the game of golf is a mental game. It's a strategic game. It's chess. It's playing against the conditions. It's playing to your capabilities on that day, in that situation. It's taking risks when you have to, getting rewards when you take those risks, or, I said that a lot last time I played. It was, because I had it. Oh, if I had just, and you want to come back and you want to do it again. You want to do it again. It's just a really, 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 really good course. I've been to a lot of good courses. There's nothing like this.
Mm-hmm.
The variety
Is what I was going to say.
is insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll challenge every part of your game. And if you are not a 5-tool player, it's going to show you where your weakness is.
Yeah. If you have not played on a course with elevation and terrain, this is the one to play. Because
Right.
you think of elevation like hole 16 at Delwood. You're like, wow, I'm throwing off a cliff. No. I mean,
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
But when you have to walk up and down that cliff and see all of the rolling hills and the sides of the cliffs and throwing around and through and over these, there's so much to it.
Mhm.
You know, it
It's
kind of
throwing down 16, but you're playing to 18's basket.
totally, yeah, right. So yeah,
Dude,
it reminds
Or
me
maybe even
of,
farther. Like
yeah.
whole what is it, 12?
12.
Where you go down and
Oh.
then you're over and
yeah,
then
and then you
over
gotta go
again.
around,
Like,
yeah. It reminds me of Camden a lot in those
Ooh,
regards
yeah, Camden.
because there are a lot of little creeks and valleys that
Mhm,
you're
mhm.
throwing over, and they don't come into play, but you still have to walk through them.
Yes, hole
You know-
14, you all said
Yeah.
Camden as soon as you walked up with the
Mhm.
2 fairways separated by the creek and it's
Yep,
slightly
exactly.
up on a hill.
Yep.
Yeah.
So at this point, all 4 of you have played this course, right? No, Alex.
I mean,
haven't
you've
yet?
been.
Alex has been
I've
there
been there.
because of
Okay, okay.
He's scared.
I'm not. I was just before Jason jumped in. I was about to be like, "Can we do like a canyons long type
Yeah.
thing?" And, or obviously, if we just go
Yeah.
and play, I'll be happy. But
Yeah.
that might be fun to make some content of us going out
Yeah,
there
that'd
and
be
playing.
super fun.
So I think a cool way to talk about it that the listeners might enjoy is kind of what Jeff Chappelle was getting at. He sent a question via Facebook. I'm going to tweak it a little bit. If you guys were putting together a sanctioned event at this course, who would be like a dream team of like who would you like to see play it that would players that will fully use every aspect of the course that is
Like a
available
feature
to
card.
it. Yeah. Who's the best feature card for this course, and why? Obviously.
Okay, I would say Gavin, Borzik. It has to be people from around here, correct?
No, I mean his question was like, it should be. Yeah,
It should be, of course.
should be,
Yeah,
but I think
I was thinking of somebody who's around here who isn't really
a
around here anymore.
globally a global
Right, okay.
conversation spans outside of local dudes.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Can I throw in-
from around here? Yeah, sure.
Chris Sprague.
Hell yeah!
Chris Sprague would really would be a joy
He would nerd out so hard.
to listen to because he's
Oh,
the
I thought you
designer.
meant like best of the best players to really
that too.
challenge the course.
That too.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
what I was
but
going. But you're
also
talking
phenomenal,
about, like,
phenomenal golfer.
Chris Sprague-
Phenomenal,
oh,
could
Chris, yeah.
absolutely hang.
But I
Chris
was
Sprague, the
thinking-
designer of Camden too. He'd be awesome to
Yeah.
hang with him.
Mhm.
Just
See play that.
see his face and hear him geek
Oh,
out
he would
over
go.
what he
It'd be hours. It'd be into the hours of the night
Mhm.
talking about.
He's a
it.
great guy. I got
Yep.
to meet him at the Dog Bowl last year. Great.
Yeah.
It was
Yep.
First time I got to meet him. Excellent.
Did you see his tick bite?
Excuse me.
No, he
If
didn't.
you, if you know, you know. Sounds like you don't know.
If you don't know, you didn't. Yeah.
A couple other questions before we kind of come to the trivia portion of the night. Two of them are a little more straightforward. One is a
Yeah.
open-ended kind of a thing. What is your target opening date? I know that's completely up in the air, but your like hope, dream.
Tomorrow. That'd be my hope.
If you had to put money on
Dream?
it. If you had to put money on it.
September.
Wow. Oh, that's very encouraging.
For you're thinking like a grand opening type of situation, or did you just want to kind of slowly roll it out like you have been?
No, we've been slowly rolling it out. So yeah, I would like to.
That's
move-
already happening
you
now.
know, there you
right?
go.
Like, I mean,
So-
that's happening
Yeah.
this weekend again.
Right.
You guys are
Right,
doing
right,
another invite.
Yeah. And no offense to anybody that didn't get invited.
It's
You know.
tiered registration. They started at the top.
Yeah, right.
There you go. No, we're slow rolling it. It really is all predicated on the parking. That's the whole thing. Once the parking is established, Mark's already got everything designed out, of course. And once we get to go ahead and the okay, we'll move forward. We'll move forward quick because we're ready to go.
Yeah.
The tee pads are good enough right now to play on for sure. We came up with this really cool way of using some gravel, some lime, some concrete, and now they are just no slip at all. You couldn't if you wanted to. So I'm very happy about that, even with the rains that we've had this spring. Well, we are going to do turf pads. We're getting them from Europe. That's the idea. But they're costly, and we really, really don't want to put any more money into the project until we have, like, you know, the absolute guarantee that we are moving. Could you imagine if we go ahead and do that, and then all of a sudden, you know, we've got a different plan?
Yeah.
Sure.
So for context, how much money has gone into Mark's in your pockets? Like, do you have the ballpark?
Yeah. Mark knows exactly.
Of course.
And I could give you a variable that might be close, but how much together? Probably close to $80,000.
Wow.
Mostly Mark.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I just happen to live a long way away, and so every time I go, it's 45 minute trip there and then back. So every time I work on the course, it's an hour and a half drive.
At least half a tank of gas, at least.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I don't really add it all up. I don't, really it doesn't, I don't care. I really, really don't. I don't. This is just the greatest. It's been, you all, when you get older, you get to a certain age in life where you'll hit your midlife crisis, right? And you start to wonder, what in the world was this all about? And it really, really is true. And it'll hit you, and it could hit you hard if you're not prepared for it. But this course has been way bigger than just a disc golf course for me. This has saved my life. This is the whole disc golf experience. Can I just tell you a little bit?
Please.
Can I get deep? Can we bring the room?
Oh, get so deep.
Yeah.
Mr.
All right.
B.
This community, I might cry, so hold on.
Oh, God.
Again,
I'll try not to.
crying, man.
I can't
Please.
wait
A
for the
tissue,
music.
please?
I don't know,
I don't know if we've
All
had
right,
crying
I'll try to
on the
do this
show
really
before,
fast.
so I would love that.
All right. If you all don't know this, life is really hard. And sometimes it can hit you without you knowing. It just hits you from the back of the head.
Yeah.
And so that kind of a situation happened with Nick and I. He was 13 and about to go into high school. And it was him and I living together. And the rug got pulled out and we lost everything. I won't go into elaboration, but I was homeless. Nick had to go live with his mom in Lansing, Michigan. And I was kind of rescued by my brother-in-law and sister, and they took me in. And I can't tell you how embarrassing that is. But living above a garage, and lost everything. And the only way I could play with my son was because I couldn't afford. I'm Poe because I can't afford the OR at the end. So I couldn't go visit him very much. So all I could do was play with him on Xbox, and we played Destiny or whatever. It was the only way. So slowly, I kind of spiraled. It was not working out for me, and I started drinking heavily, and that was the only thing. Because when you lose something like Nick. There's a hole that can't be filled. But you try.
Mm-hmm.
And I was about, I got up to about 240 pounds. I ate a lot of cheese. Cheese makes me happy. I ate a lot of cheese. And I drank a lot of beer. I was drinking maybe 12, 14 beers a day.
Wow.
And then you just hit a wall and you have to make a decision. And I made a decision that I needed to stop and I needed to live and that I couldn't keep going like this because it didn't have an end, or an end I liked. So I loved disc golf. I loved playing disc golf with Nick when he was a little guy. We didn't get to do it very often because he was a bowler and he killed. So we were always doing something else, or Little League or something, but I always loved disc golf. I started disc golfing in '92. And I was also, just imagine Mr. B, large Mr. B, 240 pounds, sitting there with his cheese and his beer, and a crossword puzzle. I used to do just crossword puzzles. Kept my mind from thinking.
Sure.
So I could just do crossword puzzles. And I just decided, okay, I got to fix this. So I didn't have any discs. So I went online on eBay and I looked, and the first disc that popped up was a a star archon, and somebody had dyed it as a crossword puzzle.
Ooh.
So I bought it, and you know how like a 12-step program, you got a token, and so that was my disc. Fortunately still have it. I lost it. Someone took it, and I had lost it for 3 years, and then somebody found it and came back.
Oh,
No
my
way.
God.
What's his name found it? Oh, I don't want to. Peterson?
Dan
Peterson
yeah,
found it?
he found it at the Oaks.
Oh, amazing.
Amazing.
Oh, amazing.
Amazing. Thank you, Dan. That meant the world. So so I got the disc, and then I decided I'm going to go out and throw, and what was close, Ole was close. So I went to Ole, and I started to throw at Ole, and I mean, my big chubby self out there, and I'm throwing, and like the 2 times, after 2 times I was there, the 3rd time I was there, I ran into this dude, and he was really super nice, and his name was Brian Ryan, and he thought I was a narc. Because here I don't have a disc bag or anything. I just this large dude, and I got like, you know, this one disc, and I'm out here throwing, and he's like, you know, are you a narc? And I just started laughing, and he's laughing because you throw better than a narc would. And I was like, you know, just laughing, and we're talking. He was a great guy, what a great guy. And then this other dude walks up, Matt Rooney. Right, so I got Brian Ryan and Matt Rooney, right? And so I'm like, and they were so nice.
Yeah.
I mean, they were so cool. And they told me about this club called the Basket Cases, and that you should try them out. And I was terrified because, well, come on now, you guys really play? Like, really play? I would see people like going, and they'd have their discs in like a baby carriage or something. And I'm like, Nick and I would crack, how many discs you need, man? Like, come on. You got like 20 discs. Right?
Yeah,
We would laugh.
Yeah.
So they just got me into it, and I got my bravery up just to give it a shot because I like started to come this far, so why not? And oh my Lord, that was just like the Basket Cases saved my life.
Wow.
That's it.
Wow.
I don't, you know, if I say much more, I'll cry. Disc golf is. I can't give back enough.
Well said.
That's why I did it.
Hell yeah.
So you see online every once in a while somebody will mention this course, and not a whole lot of people know a lot of the details about it. Hopefully they listen, but there's a lot of like, well, what is it even about? And you know, there were some comments like, oh, what, didn't it open in 2019? You know, like joking around, like Mr. B, Mark, this course, they don't owe you shit.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Right? They don't owe anybody anything. They're doing this because of what you just heard.
Mm-hmm.
Mark and Mr. B, their love for the game and their love for the project and their love for the land and their love for making something beautiful and great and fun and for the community.
Yeah.
You can wait your sorry ass until you're able to play this course, and when you do, you're going to see why it has taken the steps that it's taken. But
You all do not know how lucky you are to have Mark Grabavoy in your community. And most of you don't know him very well, and you should take the time to get to know him. He's a genius. I don't use that lightly. He's an absolute genius. My world before, is theater. I'm theater through and through. From the age of 7.
No way.
Yeah, I worked a lot of places. I'm a 5-time national champion in competitive speaking. I moved when I was
why did we wait so long to have you on the show?
When I was a senior in high school, I moved myself down to San Antonio, Texas, to be a part of their team, and we won the high school national championship.
Sean was
Dad?
born. Sean was born in San Antonio, Texas.
Yeah, beautiful. Lost my virginity in San Antonio.
Hold on. Wait.
You like light beer. You need to stop. Have you tried disc golf? So I've worked with some incredible people throughout my life, and some big egos, and some theater people. Dude, woo! That's tiptoeing through the tulips. That's really difficult. You could work with any type of person, very loud and proud, to very, subdued and very dramatic. It's just but Mark, Mark is like, tell me your idea. Let me hear it. He never discounts an idea. Anything. It's all, I'm what if. I'm what if-ing all the time. At the beginning of this, it was what if. And some of them were so dumb, even I would be like, that was really stupid. But he would never discount an idea. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. Because that's what creativity is. It's being able to bubble up ideas and to feel free to do that. And that was of all the people that I've ever had the opportunity to work with in theater or anything, Mark Grabavoy is absolutely at the top of the list. Never seen anything like it. He's so thoughtful to show the portfolio of his work and explain, and oh my God, you all don't know. He might have 6,400 hours on the course, but I guarantee he's got like 3,000-4,000 more hours of drawing everything out. He sketches it, draws it on, what is it, the paper you can see through. It's such a transparent paper. And then we'll line it up on top of each other to make sure there is not one shot on the course that is similar to another shot on the course. Nothing copies at all, ever. That property, you could have put a hole anywhere. But we did it like a show.
Right.
It's a show. It's an 18-act show.
Oh, it's an experience.
It's an experience, and we did each hole with a purpose to play with your mind, for your mind to have a mental journey, and that's kind of why we named it the way we named it. But it's for your mind to like, okay, I did that. Okay, real quick. I was at toboggan course. I played the third hole of toboggan course. Nick and I were there. It was beautiful, beautiful. Third hole of, if you don't, it's 900 downhill shot. Really long, real arduous shot. It's easy to mess up. It was windy that day. I was just like, oh God, I think I got a 6 on it or something. I was just like, oh man, I really wanted to play that one well. That's such a shot. And then to get to the next hole, you had to walk through this little wooded area. So you're just walking through this little wooded area and you get to the next tee. And what I realized right there was I completely forgot about the last shot. The last shot was it was lost in the woods. Just by that, it was like a curtain had closed and another had opened. And now my mind was fresh, and let's go and let's attack this hole.
Yeah.
And that's what we did throughout the whole course on purpose. Every little transition, every little path that you walk, there's a reason for it. Everything you're going to see along the way, there's a reason for it. Every next challenge, there's a reason for it. Every one of them. You start out on hole 1, big, huge. Let's, warm up the old soup bone. Let's go. You got a 700 and something foot shot off of a 70-foot rise. Let's go. Let's open it up. Check the wind. Let's see. Bam, you're throwing that. And then you go to hole 2 and you got another. Woo, let's go. Let's warm up the arm. Another big, big fairway to throw into. But then your second shot after that, kind of through the woods a little bit. We're going to go into the woods a little bit. Third shot. Okay, we have the kind of similar to hole 4's first shot at Highland. A bend, a fade that you have to control. That's kind of really hard to do. All right, and then you're going to have to get through the woods. Okay, well now we're on hole 4, and hole 4 is back and big and open, but now all of a sudden there's this gauntlet of trees, and if you notice, the whole fairway is sloping. I don't know. I don't know how to stand. I never played on a slope before. Okay, first I got to get through this gauntlet of trees to this opening, so I have a look at this basket that's up this severe slopey hill. I don't know if I can make it to that. I might have to. Okay, all right. Well, 5. Okay, 5. Okay, here's 5. 5's a tunnel shot. Or is it? No, actually, there's 5 different lines. On 5, you can flick, you can go hyzer, you can go this way or that way or this way, but you just got to look for it. The first one is this tunnel shot. Oh, I got a tunnel shot? No, you don't. You got to start looking now. And then you get to 6. And 6 is a big par 5. And then you got to start going, okay, wait a second. This is a par 5, but this first shot is a downhill slope.
Yeah.
I can't use a driver here.
It's a par 5, but you can't air it out.
You're not.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No. This is a hole that's set up in 5 different, or 3 different shots of different distances. Nothing big here. This is a par 5, but we're not playing on a golf course. Thank you. We're right. We're playing. No. It's 3 shots, and they better be good. And they're not 600-foot shots. No, this one's like a 300-foot shot downhill. Fade it, and you better land it in the right direction to set yourself up for the next shot.
Yeah.
Just to drop a fun name, it's like Mulder. He didn't care for it at all, I don't think, because his second shot, he wanted to let it fly. Yeah. That's his game, man. He's what a player. Yeah. But he couldn't. And his second shot was only to set up your third shot. And that, you didn't. I don't think he liked that. And it was hard. Never did a shot like that.
Sorry, not sorry.
Right, and then you finish that 5, and then you're off to 7, and then and 8, and up and around. And it goes on from there, and that's the way it's set up, and it's all on purpose. Several hours when we were done with the course, going to Embers, and just talking with a map, and talking, and discussing, and what ifs, and what do you think a person's thinking here, and what if they're over here? Do they have an out? How many lines do we need on this shot? Again, another thing about the big one in Peoria Black, you only really have 1 line, and if you're off of that line, it's tragic, it's frustrating, it's saying, I don't like it. This is more like, there's all kinds of lines. Which one do you want? Which one are you better at? What's your strength? Use it. You flick? You got a standstill flick? Yeah, you should use it right here in this, and you'll land right there.
You know what's funny is I have a list on my phone of when we went and played, and I kind of took notes.
Yeah.
On each hole.
Oh wow, that's really cool.
Which I'll go over with you if you would like. And normally my joke is, because I throw lefty, is none of these are lefty holes. Because as a course designer, most people are right-handed, and even if you're not conscious of it, everything will kind of end up as a little bit of a righty hole, right? Even if it starts off bending to the right, it'll come back left just a little bit for that little S line or that fade. And I never had those notes with you guys.
No way.
Because I don't remember there ever being a point where I was like, oh, I don't know if I can throw this.
Huge advantage for Mark to get injured and lose the ability to throw with his right arm, and had to learn to throw with his left arm.
Sure. Yeah,
Gave him a whole different perspective.
Yeah.
And we are very conscious. Again, we want you to play to your strength, and we want to set you up to play to your strength.
Sure.
And yeah, that's the whole ball game. Right?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
The thing I wanted to learn most about while spending time with you today was about the motivation, from all the time, all the money you guys have put into it. And I think you've done a really good job painting the picture of why and what does it mean to you, what hopefully it will mean to the people who come to play. And the thing that resonates with me always when I see it in the disc golf community is people who are committed to giving something back. So many people came before us and did so many good things that we've all been enjoying the fruits of that labor for so long. To participate in this community and not find some way to give back, it doesn't have to be every time you play, it doesn't have to be every year, but at some point to find it, to me, feels like the grocery cart analogy thing. Like, everybody should put their cart back because it's just it's the right thing to do. We should all do it. So find your whatever your grocery cart thing is in the community. Find something you can do to give back at some point, because we all should.
You should.
Thank you for getting so deep into the motivation stuff. It's a story that I think is, I don't want to say more common than people think, but maybe in some ways it is. Because the first thing I thought of was MF.
Yep.
Stumbling across Oli when he was going through the darkest times of his life, finding disc golf, finding a community, plugging himself in.
Yeah, me, Ray, and Rubo.
Really?
Yeah.
That's nuts. I didn't
Yeah,
realize
it was
We're
like-
all intertwined.
Yeah, Michael. And go to his... Go.
Yes.
Go to it. I don't care if you got a problem or not. Go to it.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. Just can't say enough good things about it. It feels so good to be there.
Well,
Do you want another really fun intertwined story real quick?
oh yeah.
It involves MF.
Oh yeah.
So he had posted up recently about the disc golf community, as Mr. B just said. His grandpa owned the indoor skate park in New Lenox called Drop-In.
Right.
Okay, and that closed in 2008. In and around the time that MF got away from that and got involved in drugs, and we've heard his story, right, and his struggles, and then he found disc golf, and this community has helped him tremendously, as it has so many other people. And he had tagged Delve Disc Golf and saying that was the community. And I said to him, well, that's just the universe has got such a crazy way to tie us all together, because my first experience of learning what a community was his grandfather's
Drop in.
skate park in New Lenox, because
Okay.
I didn't do organized sports as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing I did was skateboarding, and I didn't know where to go, I didn't know who to talk to, because it was just this thing that I was like, I like this, there's other people that like this, and then I found this place when I was 14 years old, and went to Drop-In and was like, oh, these are my people, this is my thing, and that's where I learned what community was from MF's grandpa.
God,
That's so cool.
it's so
Isn't that nuts?
It's so awesome.
Can I drop in just one thing real quick?
Yeah,
I'd be
please.
remiss if I didn't
Yes.
say this.
Absolutely.
I have the best son. There you go.
He is great.
Nick's a great dude.
He's actually cool, though.
I'm so blessed. Nick has the highest, the best score at the course right now as a single player. He's at neg 5.
Really?
Orzik was at neg 4, and I think then neg 3 as well. Stilson's in that group. Schlitter's in that group. A lot of good players in that group that all hover around +2, neg 2. But I can brag on my boy. Matt Casey came to visit from Iowa,
Ooh,
and
Matt
hadn't seen
Casey.
Matt in a long time.
Yeah.
Matt, hit him up. He was looking for a holler, just looking to throw. I hit him up, asked him if he wanted to try the new course. Of course, he was, right away.
Right.
Me, Nick, and him went out there, and I'm just talking to Asian, and slowly Nick's over there just shooting a neg 5 with 2 bogeys.
Wow.
And on that course, you got to play that course to appreciate
Yeah.
that score. That was, quiet assassin kid, man. He's starting to play open now. I'm warning all of you.
My boy's
Warning
coming
all
for
of you.
Yep.
He did this with bowling too. He was like 9 years old, and he started bowling with the high school kids and what have you. And they were like, he's this little kid, and this little kid ended up just like taking him down one at a time.
He's got such a
Just
good
getting
attitude.
much and much better.
Yeah.
And for anybody that disc golfs out there, you play with people that are better than you. Play up.
Always.
Play up, and don't
Yeah.
be embarrassed about it. Play up. You're gonna learn. That's all there to it. It's a real simple game. Play up.
Rise to the occasion.
Stop thinking so much.
Right.
Stop hurting yourself.
Mhm.
Putt more.
Yeah.
The secret to disc golf, putting. And don't putt, like if you're going to practice putting, I'll just tell y'all, don't practice like I've got 10 discs, I'm going to stand at this spot, and I'm going to throw it in from this 10 in a row. And that's the way I'm practicing putting. That is not doing anything for you whatsoever. It'll maybe make you physically a little smoother and your body's a little bit used to it, but it's not doing anything for your mental game. And the whole thing is mental. Putting is mental. You've got the physical ability to do it. It's no doubt at all. Mental game. Work on your mental game. When you putt, Putting practice, just go around a course, set up where you think your disc might land or might normally land, and just putt. One putt, like that is your putt in a tournament. Play games where it gives you pressure, like you're not allowed to finish putting until you hit these 3 in a row. Set yourself up so that you can practice with pressure on you. Because otherwise, you're not really doing anything for yourself. Except, you know, it's like shooting free throws.
Well, listeners, you heard it. Play up, give back,
Practice, buddy.
and come play. Come play this new course.
Yeah.
Find a way to get out here. Reach out to Mark, reach out to Steve, or reach out to us. Make time. Come experience it. And we can't, as a community, we can't thank you enough for what you guys are doing.
Of course.
For real.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, absolutely. Trust me, it's absolutely my pleasure. Absolutely. I wouldn't do it otherwise. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Like I said at the top of the show, thank you for doing this, for doing everything, for all of it. Look at this community. I mean, you all built it. I mean, we were here, there were clubs, but you all unified it. You made it a level, I can't even, how many levels above? Look where it came from, just since you've been in the game. I mean, sheesh, how many events do you do a year?
Right.
It's, what?
Ask Ryan.
Right?
This is
It's
too
so many.
No, and there should be more appreciation. It's just fantastic. Yeah, sure, you don't see it at the end of the round. Most people are kind of sullen. They didn't play as well as they wanted to, obviously, if they didn't win. So you probably don't see it, and you probably don't get enough thank yous. You know, but for God's sake, I hope you get some at the beginning of the round before people get in there, because you deserve every bit of it.
Yeah.
And thank you guys.
We
I
love
really,
On that
really
note,
appreciate it.
If you're liking the show, don't forget to write us a review. Or subscribe on YouTube.
Sure.
That's a nice way to say thank you.
Yeah.
That's a real easy way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's a wrap on the junk in the trunk for this episode. And now it's time for a part of the show where I have a feeling Mr. B is going to dominate all of us. That is the trivia portion of the night.
Do you mean that it's time for the trivia portion of the night? The motherfucking trivia portion of the night.
That's exactly what I mean, Jason. Please.